Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you travel to Paris, France, the Louvre is almost a must-visit attraction. It is located on the north bank of the Seine River in the heart of Paris. Established in 1204, it was once a royal palace in France, having been the residence of 50 French kings and queens. By 1793, it transformed into a museum open to the public. Today, the Louvre is a world-renowned museum. Within the Louvre Museum, there are three iconic treasures: the Venus de Milo, the Winged Victory of Samothrace, and the Mona Lisa. Nearly 10 million visitors come to the Louvre each year specifically to catch a glimpse of these masterpieces. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa is displayed on a wall by itself, protected by glass and security measures, enjoying the highest level of preservation. Let's travel back to the year 1852 when the Parisian police discovered a mysterious farewell letter in room 403 of a city hotel. The room was in disarray with brushes and paints scattered around, and on the canvas was a painting of a smiling lady. In the corner of the canvas, the farewell letter revealed a chilling message: "For many years, I have been desperately fighting against her smile, and cautiously taking off the letter. The following 4 words sent shivers down the spine. I would rather die." It seems everything had been solved. The artist named Luc, residing on the 4th floor below, did indeed commit suicide, motivated by the belief that the smile in his artwork had stolen his soul. At that time, the painting was known as Madame Gioconda, which is today's Mona Lisa. Now, almost everyone recognizes that Mona Lisa, and knows it as a work by Leonardo da Vinci. The enigmatic smile of the figure in the painting is captivating, but does this smile really have the power to captivate souls? What secrets did Leonardo da Vinci hide in the artwork, and who was the peculiar Madame Gioconda? Today, let's delve into these stories. Does the Mona Lisa really smile? And why does it seem that she is not smiling when you stare at her, but a mysterious smile appears when you look away? Could the artwork truly have a soul that spontaneously smiles when you least expect it? In 2019, marking the 500th anniversary of Leonardo da Vinci's death, an international research team used the latest optical technology to examine the Mona Lisa. They seem to unveil some secrets for us. First, experts restored details lost in the painting using infrared. From the surface image, Mona Lisa appeared to be a voluptuous lady, but in the infrared photo, experts found that she had a thin veil draped over her shoulders, contrary to the perceived richness. Subsequently, experts used ultraviolet imaging to detect the painting, revealing many purple spots, suggesting traces left during later restoration. The Mona Lisa is painted on a hardwood panel with layers of paint, at least 30 layers in total. The bottom layer is reflective white paint, followed by successive layers of color. Da Vinci treated these pigments differently from modern ones, giving them enhanced translucency. Therefore, the mysterious and layered appearance of the Mona Lisa partly stems from these layers of details. However, this is not the final answer to the mystery of the smile. Continuing their research, experts used X-rays to examine the painting, and a more miraculous situation emerged. When X-raying works by other artists, experts naturally found clear boundaries in the paintings. However, when X-raying Leonardo da Vinci's works, including the Mona Lisa, those clear boundaries disappeared. Experts were astonished. Da Vinci's artworks seemed to vanish in the world of X-rays. At this point, experts seem to have found the gateway to unraveling the mystery of the smile. They called it the sfumato technique, also known as the smoky effect. Da Vinci was a master of this technique, and under X-rays, there were no contours. Experts believe that the more than 30 layers of color in the Mona Lisa were all created using this sfumato technique to generate the illusion. When carefully observing the eyes and lips of the Mona Lisa, one cannot see borders and lines. Only a sliding rhythm of light and shadow is visible. Finally, the expert who cracked the ultimate puzzle appeared. Her name is Margaret, a neurophysiologist specializing in the study of our visual perception system. Dr. Margaret explained that the human retina's center contains some very special light-sensitive cells, almost absent in other animals. These cells allow us to perceive sharpness and clarity. The distribution of cells on the entire retina is roughly like this, becoming sparser as you move closer to the periphery, or what we commonly call peripheral vision. Therefore, for human eyes, if we stare at a point, we actually cannot see the details in the peripheral vision. Dr. Margaret then demonstrated an experiment. A student was asked to focus on the central genuine Mona Lisa, staring fixedly at a yellow dot on the tip of Mona Lisa's nose. A few seconds later, the student was asked to close his eyes. Dr. Margaret then arranged artworks in the student's peripheral vision. Some were genuine Mona Lisa paintings, while others were parody versions. After copying them, she instructed the student to open his eyes and focus on the yellow dot again for just an instant before immediately closing his eyes. Essentially, this was challenging the student to identify the correct artwork using peripheral vision. The results were quite dismal. After dozens of tests, the student could only correctly identify the genuine artwork with a probability of around 1/4. Parody versions and exaggerated versions were often mistaken for the authentic painting when viewed with peripheral vision. This demonstrated the unreliability of our peripheral vision. But why don't we feel that our peripheral vision is unreliable in our daily lives? Dr. Margaret explained. That's because our eyeballs are constantly in motion, rotating at least 3 times per second, always supplementing the details of the world for us. The reason for the unreliability is that peripheral vision makes us perceive Mona Lisa as smiling. After simulating our peripheral vision with computer models, Dr. Margaret clearly pointed out on the screen that Mona Lisa did indeed smile, and her mouth extended to near the ears, resembling the eerie smile of the Joker. However, when we return to our normal field of vision, we find that Mona Lisa's mouth is not upturned, and there is no smile, especially when we stare directly at her. Moreover, during this direct gaze, the smile is practically imperceptible. Only when we shift our gaze away, allowing peripheral vision to come into play, does the smile immediately appear. When we look back directly, the smile disappears again. This mysterious phenomenon is quite eerie. In Dr. Margaret's peripheral vision photos, Mona Lisa in our minds appears as a smiling woman with a creepy slit mouth. Da Vinci was truly ingenious, explaining why the artist Luke would commit suicide in 1852 due to this smile. This is the magic of Da Vinci. How did he, over 500 years ago, grasp the principles of neurophysiology that are still under study in modern times? And how did he skillfully apply them to his works? Only he probably knew. Additionally, some physiologists participated in deciphering the mystery of the smile. They found another answer from a different perspective. In Da Vinci's manuscripts, they discovered numerous anatomical illustrations. Da Vinci dissected at least 30 human bodies, and by comparing his early works with later ones like the Mona Lisa, we can clearly see that the facial features in Da Vinci's later works became fuller, a result of his increased understanding of human anatomy through dissection. Digging further into his manuscripts, experts found a dedicated chapter on lip anatomy, documenting various detailed studies. In the end, the manuscript revealed a mysterious curve resembling an idealized pair of lips, which, when compared, turned out to be the shape of Mona Lisa's lips. In fact, in 2004, another scientific team also used optical technology to study the Mona Lisa. However, due to the enormous amount of optical data collected at the time, the team studied for a total of 11 years until the end of 2015 before disclosing their findings. Because their discoveries were too astonishing, this research is still ongoing today. So, what secrets did Da Vinci hide in the artwork? Researcher Kurt explained. The team used layer-by-layer magnification technology to scan the Mona Lisa, similar to archaeological slice studies, penetrating each of the 30 layers of paint on the canvas. Through scanning, they obtained a total of 1,650 frames, meaning that the layers of the Mona Lisa were definitely not the intuitive 30 layers as believed by artists, but from Da Vinci's first sketch on the wooden panel to the final presentation of Mona Lisa, he painted at least 1,650 layers. Over the next decade, Kurt and his team continued to study these 1,650 frames, summarizing 4 main pieces of information from them. The bottom layer is an indecipherable portrait sketch. From the outline, it has a larger head, nose, hands, and a smaller mouth compared to the final Mona Lisa. Kurt specifically selected a research image to show us 2 noses and the larger hands in the bottom layer of Mona Lisa. Who could this initial unknown portrait be? Why did Da Vinci sketch such an image at the beginning of creating the Mona Lisa? The second to last layer. When showing us images from this layer, something resembling a flower appeared. It turned out to be a hairpin, visible even in the outermost layer on top of Mona Lisa's head. In some alien stories, this blurry phantom has been interpreted as the face of an extraterrestrial being. However, it is, in fact, a hairpin from the second to last layer. Upon further analysis, they discovered a total of 12 such hairpins around Mona Lisa's head. Around these hairpins, they found many similar dots. Kurt then copied these dots, seemingly forming a complete headpiece for a woman. When artists saw this headpiece, they were shocked because, in Renaissance paintings, such headpieces usually only appeared on saints or the Virgin Mary, like in this famous oil painting of the Virgin and Child with an angel. Could it be that after Da Vinci finished the large-headed portrait on the lower layer, he suddenly felt a divine calling, wanting to turn it into a painting of a saint? We don't know. But Kurt immediately presented another piece of evidence. These headpieces were immediately completely erased after completion, and the traces of this erasure were meticulously recorded by the layer camera. Who could be responsible for erasing them? Was it Da Vinci himself, or someone else? What was the purpose behind both painting and erasing? Continuing the decryption, Kurt said that after the erasure, the next layer revealed a ghostly face on the painting board. Clearly, this was not the Mona Lisa. Even the visual perspective was different, resembling more of a man or some kind of angel and saint. Seeing this, the investigative reporter exclaimed, "It's just like the image on the Shroud of Turin." Could he be Jesus? Why did Da Vinci hide these things beneath the Mona Lisa? What did he experience? In the third-to-last layer, we see this ghostly face where the bottom layer is a large head, the second-to-last layer is a headpiece, and this is the third-to-last layer. On top of this layer, a mysterious detail appears: 2 crosses. These 2 crosses precisely correspond to the eyes of the outermost layer of Mona Lisa. What does this enigma represent? It seems that we can find some answers from the last layer. Continuing, Kurt begins to show Mona Lisa's mouth. It seems like we see a smaller mouth, with a different angle from Mona Lisa's. Shifting it by 14 degrees for further analysis, the 2 crosses on the ghostly face are also 14 degrees off from Mona Lisa. Following this clue, Kurt continues to restore the ghostly points. Slowly, a completely new portrait appears. Kurt says that this is the information from the last layer, and it's very rich. They can even directly restore its colored appearance. It turns out to be a portrait of a young woman. Seeing this portrait, artists seem incredulous because this might be the real Mona Lisa. Lady Lisa. The outermost layer is not Mona Lisa at all. Why say that? This leads us back to the case of the missing Mona Lisa at the Louvre. Let's go back to August 21, 1911, a Monday. People in Paris were busy as usual. Traditionally, Monday was the Louvre's closing day, and visitors were not allowed. Only staff and maintenance personnel could enter. For the Louvre security, it was a good day. Most of them were elderly veterans who could take a nap on Mondays when there were no visitors. One of the maintenance personnel at the Louvre was named Vincenzo Peruggia. He was a temporary worker at the Louvre, and on this morning, Peruggia had prepared himself and decided to take action, to steal the world-famous painting, the Mona Lisa. He wore a white coat, the standard work uniform of the Louvre, so he didn't arouse suspicion. Apparently, he was very familiar with all the passageways in the museum. He knew exactly where each painting was located. At that time, the Mona Lisa was not as famous as it is today and was not displayed separately. It hung between 2 other famous paintings, The Allegory of the Marriages, by the Italian artist Titian on the left and The Mystical Marriage of Saint Catherine, by the Italian artist Correggio on the right. Peruggia's target was clear. He wanted to steal the middle painting, the Mona Lisa. Looking around and seeing no one, he used both hands to grab the frame, expertly took the painting off the wall. During that time, taking paintings down for maintenance was a very ordinary thing at the Louvre. Sometimes, paintings were even taken outside the museum to be photographed. The Mona Lisa was painted on poplar wood, not on canvas, so it couldn't be rolled up and hidden on his person. Peruggia looked around, saw no one, and picked up the painting, preparing to escape. To make it easier to carry, he removed the painting from the frame, throwing the frame in an inconspicuous corner. The entire theft operation went very smoothly up to this point. However, as he tried to leave following the planned escape route, he was blocked by one of the doors. Peruggia found that the keys on him couldn't open this door, which was unexpected. In a hurry, he took out the screwdriver he carried and attempted to dismantle the lock. Unexpectedly, as he dismantled half of it, only the doorknob came off, and footsteps were heard. Someone was coming. He quickly turned the Mona Lisa, facing it towards the wall, hid the dismantled doorknob, and sat on the floor. At this moment, a plumber came down from upstairs. Seeing the doorknob missing, he asked Perugia if he had seen it. Perugia replied that he had no idea, as he had just arrived. The plumber then used his own key to open the door, went outside, and locked the door behind him. Perugia, seeing that this door was impassable, had no choice but to retrace his steps and find another exit with a security lock. However, even at this point, there was no other option but to try. Perugia's luck was good. Although there was a security guard at the exit, he was fast asleep. So, Perugia seized this heaven-sent opportunity and successfully escaped from the Louvre with the Mona Lisa. At the place where the Mona Lisa should have been, only 4 nails were left. Ironically, because the Mona Lisa was hung together with 2 other paintings in the Louvre, and there were so many paintings in the museum, no one noticed the painting was missing for the entire day on Monday. The next day, a French painter named Louis Béraud, who had previously made an appointment to come and copy the Mona Lisa on Tuesday, arrived at the location where the Mona Lisa was supposed to be. However, he discovered that the painting was missing. Immediately, he informed the security, and the theft of the Mona Lisa was then discovered. Unfortunately, the discovery came too late, making the police investigation and search extremely challenging. Early the next day, the front pages of major European newspapers were filled with headlines about the Louvre's theft of the Mona Lisa. At that time, newspapers were almost the only media, and even people with no knowledge of art, after reading the reports, realized that there was a famous painting called the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. Some reports even got the illustrations of the Mona Lisa wrong, indicating that the painting was not very well known at that time. However, overnight, the fame of this painting skyrocketed, overshadowing any other artwork in the world. This shows that to become famous, one must go through something. Upon receiving the report, the Paris police immediately launched an investigation, and the Louvre announced a 1-week closure. The police extracted a fingerprint from the remaining Mona Lisa frame, which belonged to the temporary worker Perugia. However, the Paris police did not know to whom the fingerprint belonged at that time. Therefore, they collected fingerprints from all Louvre staff members for comparison, but in a dramatic turn of events, whether due to the management or police's minor mistake, they forgot to collect Perugia's fingerprints. As a result, the police never found a match for the fingerprint. After successfully stealing the Mona Lisa, Perugia placed it in his own home. He would take it out during meals and admire the beautiful woman in the painting while eating. Although the painting was not large, hiding it was not easy since it was painted on poplar wood. Later, the police indeed came knocking on his door to investigate. Seeing the police, Perugia quickly placed the painting on the table, covered it with a red cloth, and, when the police came in and chatted briefly with him, the painting was within the reach of the police officer, yet he did not notice. Sometimes, the most dangerous place is also the safest, as the saying goes. After a simple inquiry, the police found that Perugia did not seem to have the capability to commit the crime, and as there was nothing suspicious, they left. The Paris police missed their best opportunity to recover the painting. After a long investigation, the Paris police had no leads. This case left them frustrated as they watched this artistic treasure disappear from the Louvre. Perhaps by fate, in the summer of 1913, 2 years after the theft of the Mona Lisa, in Florence, Italy, an antique collector suddenly received a letter signed by someone named Leonardo. The letter stated that the sender had the precious Mona Lisa stolen from the Louvre 2 years ago and, due to a great love for the country, wanted to donate the painting to his homeland, Italy. The letter requested the antique collector to pay 50,000 lire for the transaction, emphasizing that this was not for personal gain but purely to allow the painting to return to its home country. Obviously, Leonardo was a pseudonym, and the abbreviation used was for Da Vinci's name. After reading the letter, the antique collector felt that the matter was not trivial. His instincts told him that the letter's author did not seem like a fraud. Therefore, he replied, setting a time and place for a meeting. Thus, the two men met successfully in a hotel. This Leonardo took the Mona Lisa out of his backpack and presented it to the antique dealer, Alfredo. Alfredo, knowledgeable about various artworks, took out a photo of the precious Mona Lisa and carefully compared the painting before him with the photo, especially examining the natural cracks in the pigments, which were referred to as the fingerprints of the painting and were difficult to imitate. At this moment, Leonardo turned the painting around and said, "Rest assured, this painting is absolutely genuine. Look, these are the inscriptions that Da Vinci left on the back." After careful comparison, particularly focusing on the cracks in the pigments, considered the fingerprints of the painting. Alfredo was excited to find that every crack matched. The Mona Lisa in front of him was undoubtedly genuine. So, he said to Leonardo, "I need to go back and prepare the money. Dealing with such a painting requires caution." Leonardo agreed, thinking it made sense. However, instead of preparing the money, the antique collector went directly to the police station and reported the incident. Subsequently, 2 Italian police officers arrived at the hotel and caught Leonardo red-handed. It turned out that this person was not Leonardo. He was the temporary worker Perugia, who had stolen the painting from the Louvre 2 years ago. In court, Perugia admitted that he had fallen in love with the woman in the painting while working at the Louvre. Even his later girlfriend was chosen because she resembled the woman in the painting. He explained that the reason for stealing the painting was out of patriotic fervor. He had to return this painting, looted by Napoleon, to Italy and not let it stay in France. The Italian audience, who listened to Perugia's passionate defense, erupted in excitement and agreed with his statements. The news spread throughout Italy, and people regarded him as a national hero. In the time after his arrest, many people sent letters of sympathy and gifts. It was an unprecedented show of support for a thief who had stolen artwork. However, Perugia probably didn't do his homework well. The painting was not looted by Napoleon. In Leonardo da Vinci's later years, he received an invitation from the French king, Francis I. Crossing the Alps from Italy to France, da Vinci carried many of his beloved artworks, including the Mona Lisa. After da Vinci's death in France, King Francis I purchased all of his paintings, and the Mona Lisa was then housed in the Fontainebleau Palace. Later, after the Louvre underwent renovations, the painting was moved to the Louvre. However, at that time, the common people in Italy were not well informed about these details. Public opinion overwhelmingly supported Perugia. Eventually, due to the patriotic motive behind stealing the painting, the court sentenced him to 1 year and 15 days in prison. However, he served only 7 months before being released early. Through this incident, the Mona Lisa finally became the most globally renowned oil painting. However, in 1913, just as the Italians were preparing to return the Mona Lisa to the French, another media sensation occurred. An English art dealer named Hugh claimed that the Mona Lisa held by the Italians was not the real Lady Lisa. The true Mona Lisa was in his possession. Known as Lisa del Giocondo, the painting caused a sensation upon its debut. Experts who examined it confirmed that it was undoubtedly a genuine work by da Vinci and more in line with ancient records. In a record from 1550, it explicitly mentioned that in the process of creating da Vinci's Mona Lisa, Lady Lisa had very beautiful eyebrows. However, the Mona Lisa in the Louvre at that time clearly lacked eyebrows. Experts referred to the Mona Lisa presented by the English dealer as the Alvismond version, Mona Lisa, because he kept it in England under the name Alvismond. Comparatively, the Alvismond version obviously looked more authentic than the Louvre version. Still, due to the impending World War I, the Alvismond version of the Mona Lisa was hidden away by collectors shortly after its brief debut. It wasn't until 2012 that collectors took it out from a private bank vault in Switzerland and reintroduced it to the public. Seeing this Alvismond version of the Mona Lisa, one might think of the mysterious woman in the Codex Leicester. Could this be the real Mona Lisa? In 2012, in the restoration room of the Prado Museum in Spain, experts were restoring a relatively unimportant 16th-century painting. The painting had been stored in the museum for almost 200 years. At the time, experts believed it to be a less important imitation from da Vinci's era, with a dark background, dirty in old figures, no signature, and little value. However, after the restoration was complete, experts immediately changed their minds. They were astonished. This was also a genuine da Vinci Mona Lisa. Because the previously mentioned sfumato technique and X-ray phantom effects were present in this painting, techniques that only da Vinci himself could master proficiently. Experts concluded that even if da Vinci did not fully complete the painting, he had at least done the crucial steps in its creation. This version of the Mona Lisa was thus named the Prado version, alongside the 2 previous versions. But why did da Vinci paint so many Mona Lisas at that time? If the Alvismond version portrayed the real Lady Lisa, the Prado version was a casual sketch by da Vinci, then what about the Louvre version of the Mona Lisa? Could it truly be da Vinci's code? It is very likely. Not only novelists believe this, but experts, upon seeing the rich information in the Louvre version, also think that this painting must conceal some secrets that Da Vinci wanted to convey but couldn't express directly. Please carefully watch the video below. What do you discover from it? Well, today's story ends here. We will share more videos about Da Vinci in the future. Please subscribe to our channel. Until next time.